Alright everybody, let's talk esports. Coming to us from my good patron Alex SCHEMPP, it's time I reviewed Rocket League, developed by Psyonix and available for, well, pretty much anything except Nintendo consoles. Now, quick little disclosure here before we get into the game, I actually have very little experience with this game. At best, I've played it locally with some friends at my college, and at worst, my only real experience with this game is playing it at conventions. That's not to say I dislike the game, quite the opposite in fact, and we'll get to that in a bit. It's just that Rocket League isn't really that high of a priority to me, and it's not the first game I think of when I have some free time. But while I'm not the greatest source of criticism when it comes to this game, that doesn't mean that I don't have a lot to say about it. Rocket League is a game where two teams compete against each other and, using high-tech superpowered cars, they're basically playing a game of futuristic soccer. Sounds like a pretty ridiculous premise, right? Well, it pretty much is, but if you can believe it, Rocket League is actually a sequel to one of Psyonix's earlier titles called Supersonic Acrobatic Rocket-Powered Battle Cars. Little on the nose, but it gets the job done. Interestingly enough, despite the game not doing all that well back in 2008, it managed to accumulate a rather loyal fanbase, and that very same fanbase is what gave Rocket League its initial start. That, along with some graphical updates and refined gameplay, is what allowed Rocket League to become a critical and financial success, and has since really come into its own as an esport. So much so that Psyonix has even opted to update the game on a regular basis, adding an ice hockey and basketball mode earlier last year, and a new dropout mode just this past March. So it's pretty clear that this game has developed quite the reputation. And if you want my personal opinion on it, I'd say that reputation is well warranted. For what it is, Rocket League is a fantastic game. First of all, the game's damn easy to get into. The concept is easy to understand, the controls are fluid and responsive, there are different game modes you can play, you can customize your own game if you wanted to. Overall, playing this game is an absolute thrill. Also, this game is very aesthetically pleasing. The graphics are nice and crisp, everything is easily identified, the overall design is very fitting. And if you're a fan of electronic music, this game's soundtrack has you covered. Overall, I can't really say anything bad about Rocket League, but that does bring me back to that one point I made earlier about the fact that I'm not really into this game. Rocket League is one of those games where the gamer's opinion shifts between positive and indifferent. Unfortunately, I'm in the latter category. I'll happily play this game on occasion, but it's not one of those games I'm going to sit down and play on my free time, mainly because there are other games I'd rather be playing. So on that note, really, it's a matter of your own personal taste on whether you're going to get into this game or not. But if you can believe it, this is one of those cases where, while I do enjoy playing the game, I get a lot more enjoyment out of watching it, especially on the professional level. Now, I've seen plenty of gamers pull off some seriously crazy stuff on other video games, but I can't describe the butt-clenching excitement I feel watching professional Rocket League players going to work. Maybe it's my soccer background talking, but yeah, I'd equivalent it to watching a professional sport on TV. And that's really the advantage that Rocket League has, because when you boil it down to its bare roots, it's nothing more than super high-tech futuristic car soccer. Which makes me think of that one episode from Hot Wheels Battle Force 5 now that I think about it. But I digress. Overall, I think Rocket League is very well deserving of its praise and reputation, and is a game I feel everyone should play at least once. And if you end up liking it as a result, then this game is definitely worth your time.